What's up, everybody? It's your favorite local neighborhood firefighter. And guess what? Today, your favorite local neighborhood content creator. And I'm doing this live to kind of answer one of the biggest questions I've had over the last 2 years. I get asked all the time, what can I do to be a better YouTuber or to start a YouTube channel? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to go over the 5 things that I wish I had known when I started my YouTube journey. So give me 1 second. Let me make sure that everything looks good because there's a little bit of a lag on my computer to kind of see how this is facing because I can't see the camera. All right, so that at least looks good. I'm going to try to keep up with your comments. I'm looking here on the old laptop as well. Let's see if I can bring this in a little bit. There we go. Let me know if you guys can hear me clearly. Now, I was going to do this on my computer, but unfortunately I was having some streaming software issues, so we're doing it via my phone. So hopefully you can hear me clearly. Perfect, y'all can. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are gonna have a lot of questions. Again, I can't see your comments right now. They're over here on the laptop. So for now, we're gonna hold off on the comments. I'll go back through and answer some of the big ones. Now, this is not an all-encompassing explanation of how to start a YouTube channel. It's just the 5 big things that I wish I had known when I started my journey. And for those of you who are new to YouTube as content creators, these are kind of the big pitfalls that most people fall into. And if you haven't started your journey, these are things to look out for before you even get into it. So I'm going to adjust this camera just 1 second. Don't want that to fall. All right, so let's start with number 5, and that is know your niche. Now, this is so important. You cannot be a jack of all trades. For those of you who are new to my channel and don't know me, I specialize in slot content, which can be really dropped down into entertainment and then casino entertainment. But within that, it's not just slots, it's blackjack, it is roulette, it's baccarat, it's poker. And people that watch one of these things don't necessarily watch the other. So you really need to hone in on what is your niche. Now, I'm going to be kind of talking about some information, not from my own personal experience, but from research papers as well. There's actually a lot of research that has been done on what it takes to be a YouTube creator or a TikTok or an Instagram creator. And so I'm going to be referencing that. If you're interested in it, I'll put a link in the description after this live is done. But one of the interesting things we're going to talk about, and you can see it here, is zero in on your audience. The more niche the audience, the more narrow the topic, the better the odds of success. You need to build a relationship with your audience by responding to comments, asking for feedback, and creating more content that really reflects who's watching you. Now, those of you who know me know that I try to reply to everyone's comments, and sometimes that's taxing. Some videos get thousands and thousands of reviews or comments, and that's just the initial comments, not even replies to those comments. And it takes about a minute to respond to each comment. So you can do the math on that. That is quite a bit of time to reply to all those comments. Now, as the channels grow and you start getting into tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of subscribers and comments, it will get to a point where you can't logistically answer them. But go through them, read them. There's a lot of good insights. You'll find out who your core audience is, who's commenting all the time, and that is going to help you guide and figure out exactly what your niche is. Now, some of you are tuning in, I should mention, for my 50,000 subscriber giveaway. Now, don't worry, I'm going to get to that later on. I really do appreciate that. If you don't win this month, guess what? March is just around the corner. You have another opportunity. We're doing something special in March. So remember, continue to watch, continue to like, subscribe, and comment, because every comment is going to be an additional entry. And like I just said, I do read all of the comments. I may not respond to all of them, but generally I will read all of them and at least give one comment if you're replying multiple times. So you have to love what you're filming. And this is so important. I see this a lot, especially in the slot sector, which for those of you who don't know, that's my niche. I play slots and I teach people how to gamble more responsibly, how to be effective slot players, and how to just have more fun in general at the casino by managing your bankroll and focusing on bankroll conservation. If you don't like what you do, you are going to burn out. So I'm going to show you another statistic here. You can't see it, but I'm reading off of this. The average amount of hours spent by a all-in content creator is 36 hours a week. 36 hours a week. I have a full-time job. I also am in the Texas Army National Guard. Now, add on an additional 40 hours of work to be a content creator. And honestly, that number is about accurate. It takes me anywhere from 6 to 8 hours to edit a video. So this is not something you're going to take lightly if you really want to grow your channel and really want to be successful. That's why you have to love what you do. If you don't, you're just going to burn out. This study has shown that people that come into YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or whatever it is to get monetized and make a living, if they're doing it for the money, they will burn out and they won't be successful. The vast majority of people that are successful on these platforms do it because they love it and they get to film it and share it with the world. And that's why they continue to do it despite it actually becoming work at a certain point. So I want to read you this. You don't just pull out your phone, do some TikToks, and make money. You need to get through an avalanche of work, brainstorming, production, editing, promotion, so that it makes a real impression on your audience. People will know if you have a passion for what you're talking about. If you're just making videos to make videos, people aren't going to enjoy that. They can watch anything. There's Netflix, there's Prime, there's Hulu, there's Disney, there's cable. They can watch anything. So why do they want to watch you? And a lot of time it's because of the passion that you have for what you're putting out there. So next, your niche may seem small. The slot sector is actually relatively small. The biggest content creators in my sector, in this sector, Mr. Handpay, Lady Luck, they have a little over 1 million subscribers. That is the top, Vegas map. They're at the top of this niche, and they only have 1 million subscribers. That is the second tier in the YouTube hierarchy. YouTube sees you as a real content creator at 100,000 subscribers. And the next one is 1 million. The next one after that is 5 million. And no one in my niche has reached that yet. But that doesn't mean you can't get monetized. It doesn't mean that you can't have an audience. So the average channel that's monetized that are doing this either part-time or full-time only have about 4,000 subscribers. Now, it really depends on what they're doing and what they're selling on the side, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but understand that you don't need to reach for those ridiculous stars. Have a goal in mind, work towards that goal, but also be realistic in what you can expect. So let's talk about the timeline for monetization and just creating on YouTube in general. All-in creators say it takes nearly 5 months to earn their first dollar. So 5 months to become monetized, and that's on the average. And just over a year to begin receiving enough money to work full-time as a creator. Even someone who works full-time in their content business doesn't necessarily support themselves. It takes over 18 months. So why is that important? Especially with us, those of you who want to get into content creating in the slot sector, 5 months is a long time if you're making videos. 18 months is a long time to become at a point where you're really starting to make a profit, especially if you're going and you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars at the casino making these videos. That's just the gambling. That doesn't cover your driving, your flights, your food, your hotels, all of that stuff. So you have to understand that. Now, there's a graph here. You can't see it, but basically it talks about this. So from launch, you earn your first dollar in roughly 4.9 months. Your revenue exceeds your expenses at roughly 12.3 months. You switch to your full-time job as a content creator at about that time period, and you can fully support yourself around roughly 18 months. So that's the timeline on average of everyone surveyed for this research study. And this actually, they do this every year, and it's really informative because it helps you as a content creator really understand timelines, what you need to focus on. But I think that's something most people don't really think about. And that's just the average. There are channels that take years to become monetized. And again, if you don't have a passion for it, you're going to burn out really, really quickly. But also understand how much money it's going to cost to make this. So if this is your hobby and it's something you spend your money on anyways, then it shouldn't be a problem. But again, if you're coming into this to try to make money, you're going to crash and burn really quickly financially if you don't think about these things. All right, that was number 5. Understand my niche. I wish I'd known that coming in. I could have really honed into what I wanted to do as a content creator and who I am as a person. Because people aren't necessarily tuning in to see your channel. They're tuning in to see you. What is it about you that really drives the growth of your channel? So understanding that niche, where you fall, and really focusing in on it. Because I guarantee you, there is a niche out there for you. There's people that want to watch it. There are channels with millions of subscribers just for crocheting or patch weaving. There's a lot of different stuff. So focus down. Number 4, new channel growth is from your titles and your description. So let's say you decided to start your channel. Well, at my level and at other content creators' levels, YouTube understands our audience because we have an audience. They know what they like to see. They know what they're watching. So it pulls that information and then distributes what your videos are to them. When you're brand new, there is no data. So there is no data on your audience because you don't have an audience yet. So your title and your description are so important in driving traffic to your channel. This also includes your thumbnail. So the way that the YouTube algorithm works is it actually takes bits and pieces from your thumbnail, bits and pieces from your title, bits and pieces from your description, and from your video itself, and it takes keywords that it learns and uses that to find an audience. So all of these things are very important, even to your naming convention of your thumbnail. So if you just upload a thumbnail that says thumbnail 1, YouTube's algorithm is not getting anything. So you actually need to name your thumbnails, name your videos, so that when YouTube pulls that information, it knows how to distribute it. So again, YouTube's not pushing your videos because you don't have an audience. It is going to find your audience by what people are searching. So again, narrowing down your niche, right? You need to stay within your lane so that people will start to recognize your channel and follow. It's not about subscribers. It's about people continuing to come back to what you're pushing out. Now, the easiest way to figure out what people are looking for is to look at other people within your niche. What are they doing? What are some of their big outlier videos? At the top end, at the middle end, and at the low end. Because let's take Vegas Matt, for instance. A video Vegas Matt does that gets 1 million views, well, he's got 1 million subscribers, and he's got a core audience that watches everything. So that might not be realistic to me. For me, I might need to be looking at someone with 100,000 subscribers. What is something is breaking out for them? And okay, maybe I create a video that's similar to that. And the same thing for a brand new channel. Now you can look for those big outliers, especially if you can do something that brings value and changes up what that other video was, but don't go too far out of there. You kind of want to look at where you are and then what's going on within your niche, so that when people are searching, because it's going to be using keyword searches to help find that traffic to your channel, understand that part, figure out what other people are doing, and then, I hate to say it, but copy it. Now, intellectually speaking, don't copy it word for word, but put your own spin on it, right? One of the big things in my channel is low limit stuff. So if I see a content creator that did really well, let's say on a $100 challenge, I might do a video on a $100 challenge, and I might throw my twist. What kind of games that I like to play? Am I going to play it the same way they did? What's my walkaway limits? Things like that, right? It still has to fit your style, but see what else is going out there, and that's going to help you bring that initial growth into your channel. And then once you have an audience, YouTube will then know where to pull from. And that actually goes into number 3. So number 4, if your new channel growth is from your title and your description, you need to hone those down. Can't make it too long either. If the title is way too long, people aren't going to click on it. Short, concise, to the point, engaging. So the number 3 thing I wish I had known, the algorithm serves the viewer. So understand what they are watching so you know what to create. YouTube doesn't care what I'm creating. It could care less what I'm creating. It only cares about what people are watching, what my audience is watching. And now I have an audience. So YouTube is going to use the analytics from that to figure out who would be interested in watching my videos. Why? Well, YouTube gets paid off of revenue from ads and various other things. So it wants to push my video out. It wants my video to be successful. It wants your video to be successful. So it's going to look at who is watching your video and other people who similarly watch similar content, and then it's going to push it to them, and hopefully they will click on it too. So let's talk about some of the analytics, your traffic sources. So I'm going to take a quick look over here. I'm going to pull up these photos I have. So I'm going to take a look at one of my more recent videos, my Wolf Run Best Slots to Play in 2026. One of the things that YouTube looks at is traffic sources. Where are people coming to your video from? So there's the browse feature, which is, well, they're just searching YouTube, right? And then there's suggested videos. Now this is usually at the end of another video. YouTube search. This is actually when you go into the search bar and actually search. And then there's outside ones. So maybe you have a link on a TikTok page or an Instagram page or a Facebook page, and that draws people in. So you need to understand where people are coming across your videos so that you can better promote on that avenue, right? If I know that 10% of my views are coming from Facebook or Instagram to YouTube, well, then maybe I need to start posting a little bit more on Facebook and Instagram so it drives traffic to my channel, especially if they're not subscribed, because that's how people get notified. If they're not subscribed, then they won't appear on their home screen as soon as you drop a video, and it takes a little bit longer for that algorithm to catch them and push them in your direction. Content suggestions. So this is another source. Content suggestion from videos. So let's take our sector for instance. If you watch a video for jackpot judo, and at the end of that video, well, it's a very similar topic to something that I just pushed out. And the algorithm knows that people that watch Jackpot Judo's channel also watch my channel. And they also have watched videos from my channel that they've also watched from Jackpot Judo's channel. Well, it's going to drive traffic that way. So going in and looking at which videos are pushing traffic to your page is going to help you edify how you title your videos, the arcs of your videos, and how you can actually tie in. So let's say a content creator just did something, like I put out a video on the new tax law changes for slot machines and hand pays. Well, someone else in the sector may say, hey, you know, that video drove a lot of traffic to my page to this video. Maybe I should create a video like that, because it's going to draw from that video and hopefully push it to my page when I create that video. Search terms is another big one. Now, search terms, this isn't going to be your biggest source, but certain people search certain things, and a lot of times it's actually your name. So for instance, on this video, the second highest search term was low budget, high limit slots. So people looking for my channel came across this video because they were specifically looking for my channel. But the number one search criteria was best slots to play at the casino. Well, my title of my video was best slots to play in 2026. So those keywords drove a significant portion, in this case, 25% of the people watching this video were sent to my page because of that search term. So you have to understand these things, understand how the algorithm sends people to your page. Again, it's not you. YouTube doesn't care about you. It cares about the audience, and it wants people to watch longer. It wants things that people are interested in. All right. So that was number 3. 2 left. Let's take a look at some of these comments really quick. Favorites, good stuff. Okay, cool. All right. Number 2. It isn't about making money. So we talked about this in the beginning. You need to have a passion for what you're doing. If you're coming into this and let's say you want to be a slot content creator, but you don't like editing videos and you don't have a ton of free time, and honestly you don't like going to the casino, or you don't live near a casino, or maybe you just go to the casino once a year, you are not going to be successful because you are going to burn out. If you're coming in hoping to make money, that is not the case, especially for the first few months when you're not making anything, when you're not monetized. You're just going to be spending money and not getting anything in return. So again, it needs to be something that you enjoy doing. Let's take a look at this. So on this chart, can't particularly see it, but I'll describe exactly what I'm talking about here. Supplemental income. So all-in content creators, people that are all in, the only thing that they do is make YouTube videos. Only 10% of them, of all of the all-in content creators, and that's on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, only 10% of them, this is the only thing that they do. It is a very small percentage. The vast majority do something else. So for instance, the all-in content creator, they also have a part-time job to supplement their income. They also get 29% have assistance from family, 20% have other revenue sources, 17% have income from a partner, and only 10% get all of their money from the revenue from their channels. That is a very small percentage. And that goes back to understanding how much you're actually going to get paid from YouTube, which is a completely another thing, and I'm not going to break that down here because it is kind of complex. But understand that if you want to create this channel and you want it to be your primary source of income, well, chances are that's not going to be the case. Chances are you're going to have income from some other source, at least for a while. So let's talk about other ways that people make money. Now, for us, if you're following in my niche and you're watching this because you want to start a slot content creation channel, either on Instagram or on YouTube or on Facebook, um, this chart kind of breaks down where the main sources of revenue come in for content creators. The number one source of revenue is from consulting and coaching. That doesn't really happen in our sector. Within this niche, there isn't a lot of opportunity for consulting and coaching. There are very few people that do that. One of them being D Lucky is pretty much the only one I can think of. The next biggest one is books. That's at 37%. People will create books for people to read. Again, not a big market for books in our niche. The third biggest source of income at 35% is online courses and workshops. So a lot of channels, especially the ones that I was talking about at the beginning that only have about 4,000 subscribers, they are, let's say you want to become a CPA or you want to be a bookkeeper, and they teach courses. They give some information on their channels, on their Facebook or on their Instagram or on their YouTube, but the majority of their income is coming from selling a separate course to those videos to give more in-depth knowledge. And the number 4 source of income at 26% is advertising and sponsorship content, and that's where most of us fall under. So myself, for my channel, the vast majority comes from advertisement, actually all of it. I have one partner, that's it, one sponsorship deal, and that's it. So all of my income comes from YouTube ad revenue. It's not a lot of money. The vast majority of content creators that are successful and that continue to make this a full-time job are getting sources of revenue from other places. So know that coming in as a slot content creator, you can make a living, but the bigger sources of income don't really fall into our niche. So you really have to understand how you make money on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. And remember, it isn't all about making money at first. You have to have a passion for it. Because again, it could take years to become monetized. And unfortunately, it's a sector that has a huge overhead. I have a business degree. I have my bachelor's in small business entrepreneurship. So I knew coming in exactly how much it was going to cost me to do this. But this was my hobby. It's something I really enjoy doing, and I have a passion for it. And I love editing videos, and I love seeing the comments from people about them being more successful using the strategies that I teach. So for me, it really is a passion. It isn't about the money. And to be honest, the money that I do get, I just give to my mom. I still have a full-time job. I am still a full-time firefighter. I am still in the Texas Army National Guard. Trust me, y'all, if I was making hundreds of thousands of dollars on YouTube, I would not be doing either one of those, right? I would not. So understand that coming into this sector. If you do want to start a channel, maybe choose a sector that has a little less overhead, right? Most people are subject matter experts in something. So maybe choose a field that doesn't have a lot of overhead. But the key is make sure you have a passion for it and understand where your revenue sources are going to come from. All right, we're getting close. The very biggest thing, the number one thing that I wish I'd known before I started this journey on YouTube is backstock. You need to have at least 6 months of videos ready. So, I live in Austin, the middle of Texas. There are 2 casinos in Texas, one in Eagle Pass and one just north of Houston. Actually, I think there's now 3, but none of them are really close. None of them are particularly good. So I have to drive 6 hours to Oklahoma or 6 hours to Louisiana to film, and then 6 hours back. So 12 hours total journey. And honestly, by the time I get there, the sun's going down. I'm exhausted because it's not a straight 6-hour drive. I'm going to stop and do stuff. I'm going to stop, get gas. I'm going to stretch my legs, get some food. So it does take quite a bit of time. And if I never really had a backstock. I would film and that was it. I got lucky in the fact that I only posted one video a week. And that really comes into the next thing we're going to talk about. But I only post one video a week for a big reason. I don't live in Las Vegas. I don't live in Biloxi. I don't have access to a casino 24/7. It takes hours. It's a multi-day trip. And again, I still have 2 full-time jobs that I have to do. So the biggest thing I tell people is if you are going to start a channel, you need to have a backstock. You need to have at least 6 months worth of videos. And to have 6 months worth of videos, you need to understand how often you're going to post. And most people would think that more videos is better. This is not the case. And the biggest reason is burnout. If you're trying to post every single day, especially with a niche that has so much overhead, financially it's going to cripple you. And then the burnout, even if you lived in a city that has casinos, you'd have to film every single day for hours just to build enough backstock to have 7 videos every single week. So have a backstock. Start small. Maybe you want to do 2 videos. Maybe you want to do 3 videos. But start off 1 video a week and then go from there. This is going to allow you some breathing room. And it's also going to allow for some other things that we're going to talk about. You can always add to. It's really hard to take away. There are a lot of channels that are blowing up right now and they post every single week. And they're going to realize really quickly that they can't continue to do that. And if they start pulling back, their audience is going to reject their channel. It's happened so many times. So it's better to start with few and then build your way up than start with a lot and try to go back down. When you do have that backstock, you need to post at least 5 videos initially. So on that very first day you start your channel, post 5 videos. And the reason behind this is that let's say someone clicks on your video and they really do like what you're showing. What are they going to want to do? They're going to want to watch more videos, right? But if you don't have any more videos, they're just going to click off your channel, or they're not going to subscribe, or they're just going to forget about you, right? You need to have extra content so that they are kept in, they're watching. This is going to increase that watch hours that you need to monetize, and it might land you a subscriber. So have those first 5, drop them all on the first day. And this is also going to help with your analytics, and that's going to be in our next point. You need to analyze the data and then adjust. So those first 5 videos are going to give you some analytics. Okay, maybe I need to change the thumbnail. Maybe I need to change the title. Maybe I need to change the description. Maybe the comments say that the video was too long, or the video was too short, or the audio wasn't right, or they didn't like the orientation of the video. Maybe you're shooting vertical instead of horizontal. You can then adjust those backstock videos to fix that. And you can continue to tinker until you find what works for you. If you have that big reserve, it will allow you to adjust your videos, adjust your schedule, and adjust your theme to meet your analytics, which is going to help draw in more people, and it's going to help push your videos out. So, biggest thing, have backstock. There's no reason to rush into this. Remember, the average channel takes 5 months to monetize, and that's over millions of channels. Again, there are some channels that took years and years to monetize. So take your time, don't burn yourself out, have a huge backstock so that, hey, you can relax and continue to publish while you don't have to worry about making trips, because life events will happen, especially if you still have your full-time job. Do not quit your job to start this full-time until you know that you can cover all of your expenses. All right? So one last thing I wanted to talk about was this graph right here, which talks about the milestones. Now, we've talked about most of these, but this is actually broken down for men and women. And if you're a lady in the content creator segment, just know that the studies have shown that women their channels tend to blow up faster, and they tend to quit their jobs sooner, but wind up finding themselves in more financial stress because they quit their full-time jobs too soon. And that's the only reason I'm really bringing this up, is men tend to be more risk averse, and so they will actually wait a lot longer to quit their full-time jobs before focusing on content creation full-time, and it winds up allowing them to be a little bit less stress, and allows their channel to actually grow because they're under less stress and they're making decisions not based on stressful emotions from needing to make money, but on what's the right thing to do for their channel. So first dollar in for males is 4 months, 4.7, females 5.1. Full-time, women tend to go full-time at 11 months, where men tend to go full-time at 13 months. Revenue exceeds expenses for females at 13 months, for men at 11 months. So again, men are waiting a lot longer, but their revenue is increasing significantly faster comparative to their overhead. Fully support themselves, females at 20 months, men at 16 months. And there just seems to be that correlation between when men and women decide to stop their full-time jobs, and seems to go back to the fact that the stress of this being their full source of income is the determining factor in their success for the rest of the time. So think about that. I hope some of y'all found this informative. It's a little bit different than what I normally do, but I got a lot of questions about it, and it's something I really wanted to talk about. It's something I'm passionate about. I started this channel as a hobby. It was never meant to be a full-time thing. It is absolutely still not a full-time thing, and it's taken a life of its own. I do spend about a week traveling each month to film because, again, I didn't have that huge backstock that I wish that I had. I'm slowly developing that now. So as you watch the channel, you're going to see videos that are probably a little bit older. I still have videos from my Las Vegas trip in August that I haven't published. So having that is going to allow you a little bit more breath, a little bit more freedom. But it's been a great journey. I've had a great amount of time. Again, we're up to almost 60,000 subscribers now, which is incredible. So happy about that. Thanks for all of you that have been supporting the channel, commenting, subscribing. It means everything to me. Now, I know a lot of you have been waiting on this. So just before this, I drew the winning name for the contest and the winning comment. So this one comes from actually my last live, the $100 live, and the winner is, and again, if you don't win this month, there's still March, and we're doing something special in March, and I'll talk about that here in a second. Ashley Park. The comment is, I love this one. I wish I thought like this because I could have been having fun on a small budget like you. So there you go, Ashley. Really appreciate it. Reaching out to her and getting her set up on Venmo or Cash App, whatever she has. So March, I'm doing something different. Now, I've decided to do 4 people in March. So we're going to split it up. I'm going to divide the money amongst 4 people. That gives 4 people more opportunity. Yes, it's a little bit less money, but hey, this means 4 of you are going to win next month. And Kashada has agreed to give out $500 in free play. Now, obviously you need to be an Advantage Club member at Kashada. So you need to have an Advantage Club card. And the way this will work is just like before: comment, like, be subscribed to the channel. The more comments you leave, the more entries that you're going to get. But for the free play, you need to tag Kashada in the comments. So just put, it's at Gata Kashada, I believe. So you can find them on YouTube, Kashada Casino, and I believe their tag is at Gata Kashada. Leave that in the comments if you have an Advantage card with them, and that will enter you into the drawing for the $500 in free play, and I'll be announcing that on March 15th when I am there. So really excited for that. A little bit different. I know it's a little bit less money, but 4 of you are going to win instead of just one person. So I thought that would be a little bit nice for everyone who's been commenting, and it gives it a little bit more opportunity for y'all. So I'm going to pull this over here and take a quick look. We're going at about 30 something minutes. So if you have any questions about starting a channel, this is the time to ask. So I'm looking at it right now. So let's see. Seem clueless. Gotta have enough seed money. Only played $40 today. Yes, if you're going to start a slot channel, you need to have a lot of seed money. Dakota, from talking to other content creators, the normal amount is about $500 per video. So take that into account, $500 per video. Imagine if you're trying to post a video every single day. It's a lot. Yes, congratulations, Ashley. I'm going to go back to Kashada on the 14th, 15th. I have to look at the exact dates. I'll put it out there, but I'll be there for the next giveaway. Dang, I'm late to the party. Don't worry about being late. Cool. I'll drop to Kashada. So Kashada is in Kinder, Louisiana. It's just a little bit east of Lake Charles. It's actually my favorite casino. They have one of the highest return to players. I just like it there. They're dog friendly, multiple dog friendly options. So if you have a pup, that's why I go there. That's actually, you ever plan making trips to Oklahoma casinos? Yes. So Matt, I'll be trying to get up to WinStar here pretty soon. I'm waiting for Choctaw. Supposedly they're going to be going smoke free this next year, so that'll be great. Really excited for that because I don't smoke, and I find the smoky casinos to be a bit much. Slotaholics go there. All right. Oh, you mean Kashada? You know, they haven't been there in quite some time. I miss those guys. They're great. It's very strange. I'm just staring at the camera, Jay. It's very, very strange. It's a little bit weird because I can't see myself because the orientation of camera, so I have to look at the computer to kind of see what I look like. And I look tired. Yeah, sorry about commercials, Jolene. I have no control over commercials. That's a big thing people ask about. The commercials you see on YouTube, they are based on what you watch on YouTube. It has nothing to do with me. I don't choose commercials, any of that stuff. So it's all based on what you do. I have Premium. I like YouTube Premium because I don't have any commercials. Helps me out as a content creator because I can watch a lot of other people's stuff without having to worry about commercials. I know a lot of people don't like having to pay for something else, but as much YouTube as I watch, it's absolutely worth it. Comanche Red River, yeah, I'll give it a look. I'm trying to really focus my player points, right? So traveling over the country is really hard when you have, a full-time job and then you're in the National Guard too. And then trying a bunch of different casinos really stretches your bankroll. So I'm trying to kind of conserve my stuff to basically Boyd, Caesars, MGM, whether I would stick with WinStar or Choctaw, I'll kind of figure that out. Choctaw does have a couple of facilities, and really Kashada. One of the biggest things people, I don't focus too much on my tier status because people with high tier status, all that means is that they lost a lot of money. I am the lowest tier status at every place except for the ones that give me a bump because I'm in the military. Don't chase tier status, status because it is the biggest scam out there. What you get for how much money you have to spend is absolutely not worth it. You're going Monday to Choctaw? All right. So Mr. Chipova made it to Kashada last month. Is really nice. I don't have any hosts actually. So that's the thing is casinos don't really like people that leave with money. Like I said, the reason I have such a low tier status, and you guys see my videos, I go to the casino all the time. I go there literally, I go to Kashada literally for a week straight and play for hours on end. And I'm still bottom tier status. And that is because I walk away with my money. You build your tier status by continuing to play. So I hate when content creators are like, oh well, you're earning good comps. No, you're just giving away thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that you could have just gone home with. It's definitely not worth the upgraded room. You could just have saved that money and paid for the upgraded room. So if you're under 1,000, Vegas and ventures. So the biggest thing I would suggest to get more subscribers is find out breakout videos are great. So those are going to help you get, a lot of subscribers, something really interesting. But all of your videos should fulfill some purpose. All of my videos, if you watch my videos, they all have a storyline, a plot, an arc to them. It's not just me going to the casino and playing, because that's what people enjoy. It's what people enjoy seeing. It's why you watch TV. It's why you watch movies. There's a story behind those things, and there's thousands of things you could watch on television. So focus in on your content. Make it good quality content. Don't just post to post. Post good quality content. Again, that's the reason I only post once a week. I take my time, I edit my videos, I make sure everything seems good, transitions are good, the audio is good. And if the audio doesn't work, especially with being in the casinos, I don't post it. There's a lot of videos that I have thousands of videos that are just me breaking even, or they're win videos, but it's nothing particularly interesting, maybe a bit more drawn out or boring, that I just will never post because honestly it's not engaging. People don't want to watch it, and you have to understand your audience, which your audience wants to watch. Your core audience, once you develop a really big core audience, they'll watch whatever you put out there, but that's not going to help you grow. All right, to grow you have to figure out what other people are watching, and that really goes into the analytics side. See where your traffic's coming from, understand that, and then see where other breakout videos around, look for channels that are in the 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 range. What breakout videos did they have? What were their thumbnails? What were their titles? Look at that stuff, and that'll help you kind of grow. Jay, try to make a Keno video. Again, there's a niche for everything. I've tried to make Keno videos, but yeah, it didn't really sing to me, so I didn't do it. I never posted it. As a firefighter, do you ever go to the casino and notice any fire code violations? All the time. All the time. But it's not my jurisdiction, so I can't say anything. So glad I caught you live. Hey, Christy. Always great to see that smile. I really need to check out Tunica. I keep hearing people say go to Tunica. Can't believe I've met the DGens, JPF, and Bill, but I've never managed to run into you, my fellow Texan. Yeah, it's most people ask why the casino always seems so dead when I'm playing. It's because I play at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like I'm usually in the casino when nobody's there, so a lot of times you just won't see me. The only times I'm in the casino when there's people there, for the most part, is if they're doing some type of like giveaway where you have to be at the slot, or when I'm doing a live, because people watch around 5, 6, or 7 o'clock at night. Otherwise, I do not go to the casino when people are there. I am there from, I think this last time at Kashada was really from like 1 to 8 o'clock in the morning. A lot of times you'll hear it in my videos. You'll hear the machines being changed out because I'm there so early. Do you need tier status to get free play? You don't necessarily need tier status. So tier free play is based on your losses. So a lot of people don't understand that point. So if you're a successful player, you're probably not going to get a lot of free play offers. If you're losing a lot of money, you're going to get a lot of free play. It's the way the casino is like trying to pull you back in and saying, I'm sorry. Now that's different than what you accumulate playing the slot. So like the offers that I get in the mail are going to be based on my losses. What I'm accruing on my card as slot play, that's the actual money that I'm running through and that small percentage that they give me back. Oh, that's a good question, Jay. If you want to do different content, should you combine them or do different channels? Do different channels. So, for instance, I did a lot of roulette videos. The people that watch my roulette videos don't watch my slot content. And the people that watch my slot content don't necessarily watch my roulette videos. It's why Casino Kelly has two different channels, one for poker, one for slots. Generally, people won't move over niches. So like even in, let's say, entrepreneurship business, an entrepreneur niche isn't necessarily going to be the same niche as a channel that's about, let's say, financing or CPA stuff, even though it kind of falls under that same arc. Yeah, yeah, Dan. So I think it's something like most places, it's about $25,000 a play to move up one tier status, if not more. Kind of depends on where you are. So like just to move up 2 or 3 tier status, you need to have played $75,000. It's an insane amount of money that you're giving back to the casino. Definitely going to try to do some more roulette videos here coming soon. Appreciate you doing this. It's easy to learn video editing. Yeah, Drew, video editing is pretty easy. CapCut's what I use, and there's a lot of videos on YouTube about that. Thank you for live. Nice to see. What is the usual budget for a single session? So usual budget, it kind of depends, but the average across the industry is about $500 per video, Mr. Chipova. Me myself, it's like $300 to $500 budget, but again, I minimize a lot of my losses because of just how I play. Playing with coffee, really appreciate the info. Great experience. Watch both. Yeah, Park MGN's a non-smoking casino. I like them. But they're not necessarily dog friendly. That's why I stay at the Excalibur, because they're dog friendly. Park is dog friendly, but it's like weight based. I kind of had a sneak Loki in there. Lootness, what's up? How does one get into gambling content and thoughts on class 2 slots? I love class 2 slots. So most class 2 slots, like the actual bingo machines, the casino has very little control over the return to player because it's mostly based on the pay table. So they actually tend to be better than most class 3 facilities. And I'm assuming it's how does one get into gambling content? You just gotta have a love for it. You gotta have a love for editing. Like legitimately, I spend 40, 50 hours a week doing this. I think today I spent 5 hours just answering comments. Like I'm lucky that I have a job that allows me to do a lot of that stuff when we're not doing anything. But it's a lot, especially when you start to grow. So those big content creators like Jackpot, Jito, Mr. Handpay, Vegas Matt, if they don't respond to you, there's a reason. Think about it. Some of my videos recently have gotten 1,500 comments. It's 1 minute per comment on average. So for me to read it, for me to actually just go ahead and write a response or think of a response, it's a lot of time. So, I mean, just imagine that's what, 1,500, I don't even know what that is off the top of my head. 1,500 times divided by 60, 25 hours to respond to all those comments. That seems about right. It's a full work week right there. Class 2 slots. So class 2 machines are bingo style machines. So instead of having a random number generator, it's a bingo card and a server basically pulls random numbers that correlate to the bingo cards, and patterns on the pay table are how you make a line hit. It's really the same thing. It's just a different way of coming out with the outcome. It's literally with an RNG, it pulls basically the same thing. A random number generator pulls a set of numbers that correlate to the pay table and then just graphically displays that on the screen. And the bingo machine does the same thing. It just does it with bingo balls. How are the pet rooms at Kashada? So there's the Inn, which is kind of like an old revamped Best Western, so it's okay. And then there's the chalets, Mama Bear, Mama Bear Sunnets. The chalets are, best way I could describe is like rustic camping. They're not particularly amazing, but hey, if you love your dog, it's not bad. I would suggest the Inn more than the chalets, but the chalets are close to the dog park. How did I learn to edit? YouTube and just trying it, Jay. Just took a lot of trial and error. If you go back and watch my old videos, they're terrible. But the key to content creation is just getting better, learning from your mistakes and not being stagnant. Like, I want every video to be better. And for me, the hardest part is the audio, meshing the audio with the video, because I film with 2 different mics and that helps me drown out the casino noise. So it takes a lot to get there, but honestly, it's not that hard. I'm a 41-year-old man who doesn't know anything about technology. What would you say for someone who has a lower limit bankroll, how to get the best bang for their buck trying to play Class 2 slots? Lunas, I would probably say 5-line quarters. Those are really good. There's the 8-reel nickels, and those actually are not bad. You can hit some really good line hits on those. But for the most part, the 3-reels at bingo facilities, they tend to be in the high 90s when it comes to return to player. But at the end of the day, it's entertainment, right? So play what you enjoy. And I'm a firm believer you can be successful on any slot. It's just how much money you dump into it, how long you play it, really just understanding that bankroll management and conservation, knowing when to walk away. If you have a small bankroll, you need to take the small wins. Right? If $100 is a lot to you, then $30 win should be a lot of money to you. $50 win should be a lot of money to you. It definitely is. Just see if we have those. Okay, cool. My name is pronounced Jay. Sorry about confusing. Do you do your editing on computer? I do my editing on my computer. I'll be there. I will change your channel when you do this solely. I don't think I'll ever do this full time, Jay. I think honestly, I would have to make $300,000 a year on YouTube for me to quit my job, because of health insurance, retirement benefits, my work schedule for work. This is truly just a hobby. And again, the money I get from here I give to my mom. Like, and to give you an example, I wish I could show you all this, but I recently had a video, 130,000 views. 130,000 views. I want you to think about that. And it generated last time I looked was $730 in revenue. That seems like a lot of money, but I want you to think about that. 130,000 views. Go to Jackpot Judo's page, go to Cowboy Slots, go to Gamble Smart, go to Jackpot Beauties. See how many videos they have that are above 100,000. And now think about that. Like, how much money, because YouTube pays you based on 1,000 views, not on single views. It's every 1,000 view. So at 130,000 views, I only generated $730. That's not a lot. That's why I say, like, if you're coming in this to make money to offset your losses, it is a terrible, terrible idea. It's about having a passion for it. What would you say for someone who has a lower limit bankroll? I already answered that one. Okay, cool. JSR, if you change, thank you so much. It's always mentioned sleep schedule. Ever been to WinStar? Yeah, I used to go to WinStar. I think almost all of my original videos are from WinStar. Is it possible to be a professional slot player but not a content creator? Oh, absolutely. So, okay. I'm a professional slot player. And this is much different than what I do on the channel. So, years of me playing, saving my bankroll, practicing discipline has allowed me to save up a big enough bankroll to bet bigger. You don't see that on the channel because I get a lot of kickback from people when I bet big. It's the biggest comment I get. Anytime I do anything more than $5, I get just trashed in the comments for betting so much because I'm low budget, high limit slots. But last year, let's take a look. Last year I made $143,000 gambling, which is a lot. Now I had the two biggest hand pays of my life when that happened. So one will come out Sunday, you'll see, which I haven't published that, and the big one I had in Las Vegas as well. And those really shot me up. So the biggest difference between, there's three kinds of gamblers. There's the professional gambler who doesn't go to the casino necessarily to, it's not for entertainment anymore. You're going there to make money, and you get your enjoyment from seeing your strategies work, from actually beating the casino. There's the recreational gambler who just goes, and the recreational gambler will be up occasionally, but then will tend to be down. They'll sit somewhere in the middle, but generally they stay on the losing end because they're always trying to chase a big win. And then there's the problem gamblers. You can absolutely be a professional slot gambler. Jackpot Judah is a perfect example. He's a professional slot gambler who makes money gambling. He makes far more than I do, but that's because he's far more comfortable risking money. I would rather just be comfortable taking small wins and eventually getting those giant wins. So yes, you can absolutely be a professional slot player, but it's all about discipline, and you really do have. That's why my videos are the way that they are. I stay like this about even 90% of the time, and then I get a big win and I leave. And then I keep stepping up that ladder, and then eventually I get these massive wins. So, you've been to casino that refused to let you film. I have been to casinos that refuse to let me film. I just leave. It's their policy. I'm not going to argue with them. Like, I hate it when people argue with me at work. So I totally respect it. I don't get upset. I do not use my phone to record. I use an Osmo Pocket 3. I'll show you. So this is the camera that I use. If you look at my videos, you'll probably see in the reflection of the slot machines. And yes, my chair really is that ragged. This is my downstairs work chair. Videos. Have you ever played the samurai slots? They have a few different ones, but I find consistently, I don't know the samurai slots. When you go to WinStar, do you ever go to nearby border? Actually, I've been to Border Casino a couple times, but I've never done really well there. Someone understand concept of playing baccarat. Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, it's been about an hour. Again, appreciate all of you watching, all of you subscribing, everything. Shout outs to Ashley. I'll contact you here in a bit. Get that money transferred over to you. Remember, it's March. Like, view. Definitely watch Sunday's video. It is the largest hand pay of my life. Absolutely insane. Been waiting for football season to end so I could post that video. Remember, more comments you leave, the more entries you get. We're going to have 4 winners plus a $500 free play giveaway from Kashada. So 5 winners. Y'all, appreciate everything. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit the like button. Thanks for all the good questions. Well, I'm going to let y'all go, and you all have